Okay, we're all set. Yeah, okay. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Take a picture with me. It's not there anymore. 1 second.
Okay.
She's always trouble.
No, first.
Selfie. I can't do a selfie. Get your finger out of the way, Betty. Couldn't get him to look? Bernie, we're taking a selfie. Another one? Yeah. 1 second. You gotta look at the camera. Come on, smile. Just pretend you're having a good time. You've done this a couple
I've done it, yeah. Did you take care of the double chin? What? Did you take care of the double chin?
Yes.
Are we ready? Everybody happy today? Okay, well, we heard from the New Hampshire Police Association Pipes and Drum Band, and I just want to welcome you to the 23rd Annual Plus Company Wild Irish Breakfast. Before we get going, it's a couple of housekeeping items. One, we're going to be having our annual raffle with a trip for two, all expenses paid to Ireland, a bicycle generously donated by Brad Hill, 4 tickets to Sunday, July 13th NASCAR race, and a couple of tickets to a Celtics game, courtesy of BAE System. To get things rolling, I'd like to ask Bob Purcell, President of Brevin Electronics and Chairman of the Plus Company Board of Directors, to say a few words and introduce his very special guest, Nick Koenig.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Doesn't it really feel like spring this morning? It's kind of warming up a bit, but there are a couple of true signs of springtime in New England. One, of course, is the Red Sox open up in just 3 weeks at Fenway Park. And secondly, we have the Wild Irish Breakfast, the largest one in New England and certainly one of the most important ones for the Plus Company. We have a wonderful program here today, and I too would like to welcome you. We have a distinguished panel of speakers. We have a guest from the great state of Louisiana, Governor Bobby Jindal. Actually, Governor, I read your bio this morning. Very impressive young man, for the most part. I probably shouldn't say this, Bernie. Should I? Okay. But your younger brother, very intelligent, successful young man, made a very wise decision. He attended a small school in Hanover, New Hampshire, called Dartmouth, I believe. And for some reason, you chose to go to Rhode Island, which I just can't understand. But thank you for coming very much. And it's 73 degrees in Baton Rouge this morning. So I do want to thank all of you. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the board of directors for the Plus Company. If you'd please identify yourself. These ladies and gentlemen do wonderful work for the Plus Company. If you could please. Thank you. I'd like to also identify the Wild Irish Breakfast Committee who put this wonderful event together this morning. I like to call them the Irish Mafia. If you could please identify yourselves. Thank you, Paul, Michael. And of course, you would all agree an event like this does not occur without the efforts, special efforts of individuals. And I'd like to point out Lisa DeRico, Cynthia Andriola, and the inimitable Lenny Hodgins. If you could please say hello. There's Lenny back there. I'd like to take a moment also to recognize the Plus Company staff. I always take every opportunity I can to do this. This is a group of individuals from the leadership right through the organization who are fully dedicated to elevating the lives of individuals with disabilities. And they come each day with a commitment of enthusiasm, imagination, and they really get the job done. So I really want to thank each and every one of them. You're never, ever out of our minds. I tried to come up with some clever metaphor to describe you employees, and I came up with, in my mind, you're like a Swiss Army knife with a heart. You do it all, and I really do sincerely appreciate that. For over 41 years, the Plus Company has provided services to over 350 families in the greater Nashua and northern Massachusetts area, providing employment, housing, educational opportunities, and many, many value-added programs. And the important note to make is these value-added programs would not be funded by any other source than the dollars we raise here today. So thank you very, very much for attending and participating this morning. It's not a mystical place. It's not Neverland. It's not Shangri-La. The Plus Company is a magical place, and the things that happen there each and every day are so important to the people we serve. And the Plus Company, and I take a peek at the mayor of the great city of Nashua, it's become a significant part of the tapestry of Nashua. I often think, what would we do without the Plus Company? And it's a terrible, terrible thought. I do want to stress employment. If you look around, you're seated next to people from BAE, Crown Lennon, Brevin Electronics, St. Joseph's Hospital, Dartmouth Hitchcock, Market Basket. These people responded to the call. They've hired people with disabilities. I can personally tell you, if you have the opportunity to hire someone with a disability, it's a game changer. It's a sea change for your organization. It's wonderful. You're getting individuals who will do 110%. But unbelievably so, what comes back to you and each and every one of your employees is something that's indescribable. So if you get an opportunity, please consider hiring someone with a disability. You will thank your lucky stars. Trust me on that. Now, I have a great opportunity to introduce a gentleman, Mr. Nick Koenig, who's going to say a few words and offer an Irish prayer. And Nick personifies everything wonderful about the Plus Company. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Nick Koenig.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Koenig. I'd like to thank you for attending the Plus Company's 23rd Annual Wild Irish Breakfast. I appreciate the support this fundraiser provides to the Plus Company because it's a place I really enjoy coming to. I have lots of friends and learned many new skills, including my advantage in how to cook. I really enjoyed the Plus Company. public speaking classes I was able to take with Bob Purcell, which give me the confidence to stand here today and share this blessing with you. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sunrise warm upon your face, and the rain fall softly on the fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Well, I saw that contact to my audience. Thanks.
And just one last word. Nick, thank you very much. It was spectacular. Before I introduce the greatest blondie master on the planet to my left, I just want to make one last note. In front of you is a card. And this is not a heavy solicitation of any sort, but you all look like very nice people here this morning. So, there is a card there that will allow you, for as little as $10 a month, to contribute to fund a need for the Plus Company for this year. And as I noted, every dollar is utilized to fund these programs. Without these dollars, these programs would not occur. So if you can take a peek at that card and give sincere consideration to funding a need, I would sincerely appreciate it. Will you give it a thought? You promise? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my extreme pleasure to introduce one of the finest individuals in the greater Nashua area, one of the greatest blondie masters on the planet, a person who's responsible in large part for raising well over millions of dollars for the Plus Company. Ladies and gentlemen, the shy Mayor Bernie Streeter. Thank you.
Okay, why don't we start with the breakfast? Do you have it? Are we going to have breakfast? All right. Bob mentioned the sponsors, and I would like to give a big shout out to our gold sponsors: John J. Flatley Company, Gate City Electric, National Community College, TD Bank, and the Telegraph. Silver sponsors were Best Ford, Allen Mello, Chrysler Jeep, and Dodge, Centric Bank, and Spectrum Marketing. Blarney sponsors are Bob Cousins, DeMoss Market Basket, Enterprise Bank. Bronze sponsors are Brevard Electronics, Gateways, Monks & Company, BAE Systems, Crown Linen, Paul Goyette, CPA, Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, Microtech Staffing, Lowell 5 Bank, MPT Bank, Dartmouth Hitchcock Healthcare System, Recycling Associates, Radisson Hotel, Anson Blue Cross Blue Shield, St. Joe's Hospital, and Lake Sunapee Nashua Bank. While everyone is here, we do have a few VIPs, and let me thank the following elected officials who are with us this morning. They just came in from the bar. And as State Senator Betty Lasky and Representative Cindy Rosenwald, where are you? Just stand, okay. Stand, Betty, okay. We also have a former Irish wit who plied his trade as a comic or a comedian up here years ago, and that is former United States Senator Bob Smith. Where's Bob? Well, okay, then don't vote for him then, okay. We also have a couple of state senators, former state senators who are running for high office: Jim Rubens for governor and Gary Lambert for Congress. Where are you, Gary? Okay. Is Jim here? Okay, okay. If any other federal candidates that I missed? Good. I see a number of national aldermen. I think they just came in from the funeral home. With President David Dean. Why am I mentioning all these names and they're not here? Then I won't mention anybody else. And then, wait. Alderman at Large Dan Moriarty, I know you're here. Good, Dan. Jim Donchis. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not doing very well this morning. Ward 9 Alderman Ken Siegel is here. Where are you, Ken? Yep, way in the back. Okay. And former Alderman Dave Fredette and Dave McLaughlin. A special shout out to a good friend of mine, and hopefully, if you haven't been before, I'm a friend of yours, and that's National Circuit Court Judge Tom Bamberger, who was actually retiring today. And I know where are you, Tom? I know you're here. Stand up. I know you're here because stand up, Tom. Okay, Tom, stand up. That's all right, right? Okay. He's coming up. Okay, come on, Tom. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of appearing before Judge Bamberger, he has served both the Concord District Court and the Nashua District Court for a number of years, and today is his last day. I know the criminal element is happy, but we're sad, Tom. Do you have anything funny to say?
Well, I do, actually.
All right,
Bernie.
okay.
You don't mind if I take the microphone for a moment?
Yeah, please.
Okay, good. Bernie's been waiting for a long time, to turn the tables on judges.
Yep.
And so today's his day, and I'm glad he's going to enjoy it. I'm not going to try to be a comedian, because unlike the other folks at the table here, I know I'm not one. But I do want to thank the community of Nashua, my adopted hometown. You all have been wonderful to me. You welcomed me here 15 years ago. I've enjoyed my experience in the Nashua courts, and particularly enjoyed my experience with the citizens of Nashua. So thank you, Bernie. Governor Hassan, before I leave, I just want you to know I've known 3 judges. Personally, John Sununu appointed me as a judge in Concord. Gene Shaheen appointed me as a judge here in Nashua, and you were gracious enough to accept my resignation. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Yeah. And joining Tom is the current District Court Judge, Jim Leary, is over there. Don't you think we got a pretty good-looking head table? You too, Dan. Dan, you just turned 94, right? I think that we need to sing happy birthday to you, Dan. Dan? I'm up. Okay. Dan, you want to stand up, Dan? No. Just stand up. Just stand up. We want to sing happy birthday. Let's sing happy birthday to a 94-year-old Dan Chan. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dan. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Dan. Just for a minute, look at the head table. You know, we have Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, a potential national candidate. We have our own political rising star, Kelly Ayotte. And don't you think she'd be a great vice president? Think about it, Governor. Okay. And as you will hear later on this morning, Governor Jindal, we have an excellent candidate for Secretary of State, and that's Dan Chan. Okay. Now let's hear from former Mayor Bob Baines of Manchester to get us in the mood. Bob has been traditionally singing a McNamara's band, and you look pretty chipper this morning, Mayor.
Thank you, Bernie.
He's from the Queen City, which is New Hampshire's #2 city, right?
There you go.
Good. Okay.
Bernie, sit down. You're making a fool out of yourself.
You're right.
Before I begin, I want to really congratulate Bernie for his strong commitment to the Plus Company and to reaching out and helping people with disabilities. And I think he deserved a really big round of applause for all of his efforts. And just to drive home the point, I'll try to be very brief. I had my 14th annual Bob Baines Blarney Breakfast. It used to be the Mayor's Blarney Breakfast, but a funny thing happened with an election one year, and we had to change the name. But this breakfast was the inspiration for it when I first came here when I was mayor of Manchester, and we got things going in Manchester. And Wednesday, we netted $110,000 for our charities. And we support Special Olympics New Hampshire, the American Red Cross, and the Shirley Brulot Fund in memory of my late sister that helps refugees when they transition to our community. But we had a guest speaker by the name of Tim Harris yesterday. He's been featured on Good Morning America. He's been on The View, all the nightly news, Today Show, CNN, ABC, CBS. And he owns a restaurant called Tim's Place in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that goes to Bob's message at the beginning. His parents, he always wanted to own his own restaurant, but when he was in high school, a 16-year-old best friend of his, she used to work at Red Robin, and she convinced the manager of the restaurant to hire Tim, and she said, I'll bring him to work every day I come to work, and they taught him how to be the front man of the restaurant. They taught him the table seating, they taught him the greeting skills, et cetera, and the manager found out within a short period of time, whenever Tim worked, sales went up. Sales went up. And 3 years ago, his parents set him up in his own restaurant. He's the owner of the restaurant. He gives out breakfast, lunch, dinner, and free hugs. And he has a hugs calculator, and he now has over 50,000 hugs. And I brought him around to schools in Manchester, and one student asked him, if you had a chance, this was a middle school student, to be born with Down syndrome or be born without it, what would your choice be? And Tim didn't hesitate, Down syndrome, because we're really good people. Powerful message. And he said the other thing, he campaigned to get rid of the R word. And he's on a big campaign to do that. And at the end of it, the principal had a group of students and said to the students, what did you learn today? And one student said, I learned never, ever to use the R word again. And the other thing I learned, that it's okay to be different. So powerful messages. We heard it this morning. We saw it this morning. Powerful messages for all of us who are looking to help people, give them a helping hand, a gentle touch, and give them a leg up in life. And that's what Bernie has been doing for 31 years. Congratulations, Bernie. Now, everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. And you're going to have to at least clap your hands, if not, sing along. Oh, my name is McNamara, I'm the leader of the band. Although we're few in number, we're the finest in the land. We play at wakes and weddings and at every fancy ball. But when we play at funerals, we play the best of all. Oh, the drums go bang and the cymbals clang and the horns they blaze away. McCarthy pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, tutor the flute of the music is simply grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Here you go. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, now we are preparing for a very swell affair. The annual celebration, all the gentry will be there. Well, General Grant from Ireland came, he took me by the hand. He said, you've never seen the likes of McNamara's band. Oh, the drums go bang and the cymbals clang and the horns they blaze away. McCarthy pumps the old bassoon while I the pipes do play. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, tutor the flute of the music is simply grand. A credit to old Ireland is McNamara's band. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Bob. I'm always amazed that you remember the words. Let's enjoy our breakfast, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Our first Irish wit this morning is our governor. It's good to see you this morning, Governor, and you were a good sport last year, and we're very pleased you gave us another chance. The governor of our great state, the Honorable Maggie Hassan.
Thank you, Bernie. And thank you all for being here this morning. Nick, you did a great job, and thank you very much for coming up and leading us all this morning. I want to thank the Plus Company for your work to provide support and services to empower those who experience developmental disabilities, and for hosting this great Nashua tradition that brings people together to support your important mission. And for all of you who are here to support the Plus Company, thank you. You know, Governor Jindal and I, both as members of the National Governors Association, have spent considerable time talking with our other governors about a nationwide effort in the states to make sure that we are employing people with disabilities. And when we have those meetings and we have shared with employers who have been at the forefront of this effort what the experience has been like for them, it's been really wonderful to hear employer after employer say, Governor, it's not just the right thing to do. The productivity in our business has improved dramatically because it frees everybody up in the business to do their best work and to work together, looking always for the strengths to help each other, and the whole business gets stronger. So I hope you will take to heart not only the work you're supporting here today that the Plus Company does, but also that you will take to heart the real value of employing people who experience disabilities. And it's great to be here in the city of Nashua with all these distinguished guests up here on the dais. It's also great to be here with so many of my colleagues from the other side of the aisle. You know, the New Hampshire GOP made a lot of noise last week when I was the only New England Democratic governor not to appear with President Obama in Boston. They said it was politically motivated on my part. But come on, I would never no-show at an event just because one of the other attendees wasn't politically popular. Oh, wait a minute, David Campbell isn't here, is he? Now, you may have heard it's been a tough 24 hours for me. Yet again, the New Hampshire House has voted down legislation to authorize a casino in New Hampshire. There just isn't enough consensus among the parties. Libertarian Republicans oppose only one venue, arguing it's a monopoly, while liberal Democrats continue to raise concerns about social costs. But I have finally come up with an idea that I think can win them all over. I've come up with the perfect plan to find common ground in the House to pass a casino. I'm just going to start calling it marijuana legalization. And it's also great to see my friend and mayor of the Gate City, Mayor Lozeau. Mayor Lozeau and I have a lot in common. We are both female government executives. We both support bringing commuter rail to New Hampshire. And nope, that's really all there is. Seriously, I would like to have more in common with Mayor Lozeau, but Chief Susing and I get along just fine, and I want to keep it that way. Nashua's own Senator Kelly Ayotte is also with us as well, and it's good to see her. I understand that Senator Ayotte will be a guest headliner this weekend when the Northeast Republican Leadership Conference comes here to Nashua. I believe I read that she and Governor Jindal are slated to appear on the same panel together, entitled, Not the Old White Guys. And it's great to welcome Governor Jindal to New Hampshire, and he certainly is an accomplished and ambitious guy. I was reading recently that he was appointed to serve as president of the University System of Louisiana at just 28 years old. Just 28? Of course, I would be more impressed if the Board of Trustees wasn't comprised of Louisiana natives Britney Spears and the cast of Duck Dynasty. By the way, I feel it's my responsibility from one governor to another to warn you that if you are staying at the Crown Plaza Hotel, it's best to stay away from the ducks. Just trust me. Don't ask. Governor Jindal is also here soon after the annual Mardi Gras celebration back home in New Orleans. Here in New Hampshire, we have our own regular occurrence of indulgent, self-promotional, shirtless debauchery. We call it a Scott Brown public appearance. Scott Brown had intended to join us here this morning, but he apparently made an impromptu trip to the Ukraine instead. He heard there might be an election there soon. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Nashua's terrific state senators, Betty Lasky and Peggy Gilmour. Did you know that Senators Lasky and Gilmour host a weekly radio talk show on WSMN 1590? That's right. Every week, they offer engaging dialogue and the best insights on what's going on with politics and current affairs in our state. And all 7 of their listeners are the better for it. And no, Governor Jindal, Senator Gilmour didn't just get back from Mardi Gras. That's just her regular hairdo. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Thank you all very much. And remember to tip your waiter on the way out, or they might just leak your bar tab to the Nashua Telegraph. Take care, everybody.
The staff said you wouldn't be funny. They were right, Governor. You know, you probably wouldn't make the grade as a stand-up comic in Boston, but you continue to be a stand-up person as our state's chief executive. You've come a long way in a year. Congrats. Keep up the good work. Casey married a rich widow, but they didn't get along that well. One day his wife said to him, "If it wasn't for my money, that new television wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for my money, that grand piano wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for my money, this house wouldn't be here." Casey mumbled, "If it wasn't for your money, I wouldn't be here." Peg Gilmour, our second Irish wit, has become a regular. Thank you, Peg. She is none other than the grande dame of the town of Hollis. You know from your Hollis, you know you're from Hollis when if your neighbor isn't on food stamps. And we're a family of 4, has 6 vehicles, and their car insurance costs as much as their mortgage. As you can see, Peg is a fashion plate. Her hair is quite colorful. A liberal's liberal, a walking ad for Prozac, and perhaps a few peas short of a casserole. Senator Peg Gilmour.
Hey, somebody asked if my hair was off limits. I guess it's not. Anyway, I want to add my thanks to the Plus Company and the great work that they do. And it's such a pleasure to be back at the Wild Irish Breakfast. But you know, as I look at my panelists, it doesn't seem either wild and certainly not Irish. It's kind of got the feel of early morning activity at the Greenbrier Nursing Home. Yeah. You know, and it is coincidental that we just finished watching the Olympics at Sochi. Kind of like a downhill skiing competition is this breakfast. It's all downhill from here, folks. Actually, today's breakfast reminds me a bit more of the recent Academy Awards. We've been 12 years a slave to Bernie Streeter's humor.
That wasn't that funny.
You're never that funny, Bernie, I got to tell you. Seriously, though, it is good to see you here. You know, Bernie's taken a lot of jabs over the years for not working very hard, but that's not really true. I used to work with Bernie when he was an employee at one of the local hospitals doing, not actually sure what, but he was there. But to his credit, his boss once told me Bernie did an outstanding job. Every time he looked for Bernie, he was outstanding in the hall.
That wasn't funny either.
Bernie, you're never funny, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. You've noticed we're back at the Radisson this year and not at the Crown Plaza. Well, we really wanted to avoid all that duck crap. And you knew that you really weren't going to get through this breakfast without a few cracks about David Campbell, did you? You know, it's been a rough couple of months for my friend David. But I reassured him. I said, David, don't worry about it. You know, the public has a very, very short memory. In a couple of months, this will just be like water off a duck's back. And it's certainly great to be up here with Governor Hassan. This is the second year she's been with us. You know, last year, a really funny thing happened at the Wild Irish Breakfast. Unfortunately, it wasn't Governor Hassan, but you're better this year, Governor. You must be paying your staff minimum wage. Yeah. You know, the governor has a reputation for blocking recreational marijuana, but for supporting casinos, I guess you'd say, Governor, that's the summary of the highs and lows of your administration. But ironically, we know she's never been to a casino, and she really doesn't understand them. I guess that explains the line item in her budget for toilet paper dispensers at the craps tables. So Governor Hassan's on TV, and they say to her, well, Governor, you never went to a casino, but did you ever smoke marijuana? And Governor Hassan says, well, I did go to college. Huh? Let me just say that this comment supports all research that suggests frequent marijuana use affects one's ability to ever coherently answer a question. Just so that you can keep reminding legislators what you want, Governor, I want to give you this little token that you can wear around, power shirt, that you can wear around the State House. To remind them that you support winning the pot, not smoking it. You know, and certainly it continues to be an honor to be here with Mayor Lozeau. And what can I possibly say about her that hasn't already been said by the newspaper? You know, so many leaders have been taken down by new technology, by social media, not Mayor Lozeau. She's been destroyed by a plain old traditional telegraph. The Telegraph has pretty consistently exercised its right to know, requested everything from her policies to her calendar. Clearly, they didn't see her jokes today, or they would have printed a public service announcement warning her not to proceed. You know, since the newspaper requested the mayor's daily calendar, I decided I'd do a little investigative work on my own. I did a little dumpster diving. And I found at the City Hall dumpster this schedule that the mayor had for Wednesday. 4 a.m., pour Roundup and hydrochloric acid on selected city trees. 8 a.m., drive to City Hall, egg police chief's home on the way. At the press conference, blame it on Justin Bieber. 12, pick up lunch through private entrance at the Sausage King. After lunch, whoa, whoa, whoa. You did that at City Hall, Mayor? I'm not telling you how she spent the rest of her day. You can read it in the Telegraph. But Mayor, I don't want you to be outstyled by Governor Hassan. So just so that you could remind people that it's 10 a.m. Do you know where your mayor is? And I too would like to add my welcome to Governor Bobby Jindal in New Hampshire. You know, Governor, Republicans must love you. You're almost as tan as John Boehner. And I want you to know, Governor Jindal, Governor Hassan really plays fair. There is no partisanship here among our governors. You are here today because not one of the bridges into town was closed. And I want to say to you, even though that you and Governor Christie may be rivals in 2016, I want you to cut him some slack. You know, the poor guy, he's always struggling with his weight. He's always on a diet. And Bridgegate was really just a huge misunderstanding. What he said was, close the fridge. You know, you might not know that Governor Jindal's parents immigrated here from India. And people call him Bobby, but his given name is Pishu. I'm actually not sure I said it right. Which loosely translated means, how the hell did I end up in Louisiana? For those who don't know about Governor Jindal's background, it's very impressive resume. He was secretary of the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals, and then President Bush appointed him Assistant Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. He did all that before he left to run for governor. But ironically, just a few days ago, a Gallup poll listed Louisiana as the 10th most miserable state in United States health-wise. And a report card came out on education and marked Louisiana schools 48th in the country. So when people asked him about this, he said, well, last year we were 49th. We's getting better. So clearly, Governor, you're avoiding the important issues in your state. So I guess that makes him the real Duck Dynasty. He's ducked health care, he's ducked education. WTD, Governor, what the duck? We weren't sure if Dan would be here to join us today, Dan Chan. He left me a voicemail message, and that's why we didn't have any idea if he would be here or not. You know, Dan is the only person I know who sounds better with the dentist's fingers in his mouth. And I'll leave you today with some words about Senator Kelly Ayotte, except that I have no words about Senator Ayotte. I asked everybody. I said, come on, give me something about Senator Ayotte. She's absolutely squeaky clean. So I asked Kelly's mom. I said, Kathy, give me something about Kelly. She thought and she thought, nothing. So then a couple of days later, she called me up. She said, I got something. Once, when Kelly was in high school and we were gone, she threw a party. I said, whoa, Senator, you're living on the edge here. Real. I did find out that when she doesn't want to be recognized, this is true. She drives around town in a pickup truck. David Campbell should try that out. And it's a white pickup. We do know that sometimes Kelly has worried that her voice cracks, and maybe people won't be able to understand her. Kelly, I'd like you to meet Dan Chan. So I'm here today to wish everyone the luck of the Irish, and for all of us, a serenity prayer. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to have my assistant schedule an unavoidable conflict during next year's Wild Irish Breakfast.
Thanks, Peg. You continue to amaze us, or whatever. 6 retired Irishmen were playing poker in O'Leary's apartment when Patty Murphy loses $500 on a single hand. He clutches his chest and drops dead at the table. Showing respect for their fallen brother, the other 5 continue playing standing up. After a while, Michael O'Connell looks around and asks, homie boys, someone has got to tell Patty's wife. Who will it be? They draw straws, and Paul Gallagher picks the short one. Be discreet, be gentle, his friends tell him, and don't make a bad situation any worse. Discreet. I'm the most discreet Irishman you'll ever meet. Discretion is my middle name. Leave it to me, said Gallagher. So Gallagher goes over to Murphy's house and knocks on the door. What do you want, Gallagher? Mrs. Murphy asks. Gallagher declares, your husband had just lost $500 at poker and he's afraid to come home. Well, tell him to drop dead, says Murphy's wife. I'll go tell him, said Gallagher. A few years ago in her first term, our next speaker suggested we move the Wild Irish Breakfast to be a Wild Irish dinner as it was difficult for her to be funny this early in the morning. She never disappointed us with her humor. And it's my honor to introduce the queen of downtown Nashua sidewalks, the Nashua Police Department's best friend, and the Nashua Telegraph's favorite elected official, our own mayor, Donnalee Lozeau.
Front page tomorrow. Although, I discovered something very interesting this week when I went to the public access People's View television show, and I wore a blue jacket and a green blouse. The green blouse disappeared. Today, I thought I would try that here. Apparently not working out. Would like to paint the walls in the aldermanic chamber green. I'm going to work on that. Good morning. This is, I think, well, it used to be anyway, the most painful event of the year. It is hard to be funny in the morning. It's hard to be funny anytime. This past year, it's been hard to be funny at all. And I don't like sausage. Just to get it clear, I'm a bacon girl. Of course, that goes with being a woman, doesn't it? Anyway, I know, see who's awake. All right. Just saying. So, Bernie, this is a lot like your joke that you told, I don't know, a few ago anyway, that said, if it wasn't for his money, she wouldn't be there. If it wasn't for the Plus Company, we wouldn't be here. Okay, so I thought about this, and I try to find some clever way to be a little different each year. Again, not easy. However, I thought, let's look on the bright side, which I spend most of my time trying to do, which is, this is a gift, right? This is a gift to be able to be here this morning. So it sounds like Christmas. So let's see if you can keep up. Ready? 'Twas 3 morn before St. Patrick's Day, when all through the city, the folks here today are the most cheerful and witty. The speakers were invited months in advance in hopes there wasn't nerve for any to say fat chance. While non-Irishmen are nestled all snug in their beds, the rest of us are challenged to turn the most heads. From Kim in her director's chair and Bob wearing green, I'll do my best to be funny without being mean. When out in the audience there arose such a clatter, Senator Lasky sprang from her chair to see what was the matter. I cover the microphone with my hand for a moment and whisper, relax, it's just an Irishman's cajolement. The full moon just ahead brings out colorful people, and yet as your mayor, I vow to treat everyone equal. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a telegraph story that didn't quite get it clear. My public calendar posted, there's no magic trick. You can view it on the website with just one little click. For our elected officials, you are also fair game. The right to know law applies, so I'll call you by name. Now Donchis, now Dean, now McGinnis and Brown, on Susie, on Siegel, on Shoneman and Dowd. Stay with me, there's more aldermen than reindeer. Now McCarthy, now Wilshire, now Karen and Chassie, on Sheehan, on Malizi Golia, and finally Moriarty. Like the calm before a storm often causes alarm, you too are subject to scrutiny, no matter your charm. So let's work together for the good of our neighbors, accomplishing high goals like the best movers and shakers. As you all know, the city of Nashua is a spectacular place. I can say standing here and with a straight face. I am not Irish, never have been, never will be. Certainly no cause for criticism for replacing a few trees. Our Main Street sidewalk project is soon to resume. With Mother Nature on our side, spring should arrive soon. Forget the groundhog and appreciate her power. Nothing to do now, but wait for the bloom of first flower. Senator Gilmour agrees that patience is a virtue. Having fought for her seat back, proved no challenge, she assures you. Peggy this morning, all dolled up in green, looking saintly. Each year must I remind you, keep it clean and classy. Thank you, Governor Hassan, traveling from Concord this morning. We agree for a good cause, but should come with some warning. One never knows what the subject our fellow speakers will be, all in good fun, with no cursing, for respect of Sister Bewley. Welcome Governor Jindal to Nashua, best city in New Hampshire. As a rookie, good luck. Understanding Dan O'Chan's banter. His Irish wit is amazing, though his delivery somewhat quirky. He gets the biggest laughs by just talking turkey. Or was that chicken? With a wink of an eye, from former Mayor Bob Baines, he knows Nashua will benefit from rail and passenger trains. Senator Ayotte's on board as our Gate City advocate in Washington, working hard for the wishes of Granite Staters one by one. Now let's not forget the good work of the Plus Company, so dust off your wallets and pledge to give monthly. Every dollar raised funds education for adults with disabilities, and with your support, their clients enjoy a variety of activities. Thank you, Blarney Master O. Streeter, and audience to my left and my right. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all, and to all, a good night. Oh, no. That's never good. It's never good.
You know, we have a special gift for you, Mayor. It's called a burner. You know what a burner is? Do you know what a burner is?
I think I may recall.
Okay. This is a present from some of your fans. Not me, of course, but somebody.
So you're not a fan?
I am. I'm a big supporter, but this is from a very special fan, and because we know that you would like to make phone calls and not have them intercepted, or you know whatever they do with your phone calls. So accept this burner with our gratitude for doing a great job as our mayor.
Thanks.
Okay.
It's never good.
All right. Okay. Patty and two Irish friends are talking at the bar. His first friend says, I think my wife is having an affair with an electrician. The other day I came home and found wire cutters under our bed, and they weren't mine. The second friend says, I think my wife is having an affair with a plumber. The other day I found a wrench under the bed, and it wasn't mine. Patty then says, I think my wife is having an affair with a horse. And both his friends looked at him with utter disbelief. No, I'm serious. The other day, I came home and found a jockey under our bed. Our next Irish wit is our own United States Senator Kelly Ayotte, who has two roles this morning. One is that you're supposed to be funny, and two, you're going to introduce our guest from the great state of Louisiana. First, Senator, have you heard the latest Hillary Clinton joke? Okay, well, the talk around D.C. is that Hillary says she's going to unite the party. But the day after that, she said that Bill Clinton, according to his experience, the party is usually over whenever Hillary shows up. So, okay. Senator Kelly Ayotte.
Good morning. I'm here from Washington and here to help. That was the best joke I could come up with when I thought about coming from Washington. No, seriously, last night I was telling my husband, you know, I've been to this breakfast for many years, and finally Bernie convinced me, you got to get up here and tell some jokes. And I got to tell you, my husband said, honey, please stick with what you're good at. And it was not exactly a vote of confidence. But I'm really honored to be here, especially because this is such a great cause. This event benefits the Plus Company, which does incredibly important work to help make sure that everyone has the tools that they need and the support they need to live full, happy, and independent lives. So it's just wonderful that all of you are helping the Plus Company today. But I got to tell you, I do a lot of things in Washington, and sometimes you see me once in a while on television. But this is the most nerve-wracking thing I've done in a long time. So as we say here in Nashua, let's dare to begin. First, I'd like to start by admitting I was a little insulted when I heard that I was your second choice to be here this morning. The word on the street is that your first choice was Scott Brown, but apparently he said no when he heard that he had to wear a shirt up here. But in any event, I'm so glad to be here. It's a wonderful day for all of us to celebrate our Irish heritage. And I'm actually half Irish, half French, which means I like to drink really fine wine out of a pint glass. And trust me, you need a pint glass full of wine when you work in Washington. I'm very glad, of course, to see my friend, Mayor Donnalee Lozeau, who does such a great job for our city. Now, I have been reading, I have to say, Senator Gilmour, I've been reading a lot about Mayor Lozeau in the Telegraph as well, because, I live here in Nashua. And in fact, I understand that the Telegraph has been looking for the mayor's schedule and trying to get her daily schedule. And I want to tell the reporters, I see Dean Chaloup here, I want to tell the reporters from the Telegraph that are here today that I serve on the Senate Homeland Security Committee, and the NSA has been giving me regular reports about the mayor's daily schedule. And I can assure you this, that the mayor was nowhere near the Crown Plaza on the night of Duckgate. Well, I certainly would like to take a moment to honor the Blarney Master himself, who helped invent this breakfast. It's wonderful to be here with you, Bernie. And I have to tell you, there'd be quite a few people fighting with you in Washington for the title of the Master of the Art of Blarney, right? That certainly is serious business down in Washington. And I'm really disappointed. I heard today as well that Senator Bob Smith was going to be here. And I know he's trying to get back in the Blarney business. So even though he's not here, I'm going to tell the jokes anyway about him, because there's a lot of material there. So we're just going to keep going forward. I wanted to give him a little advice. He wants to get back into politics. He wants to go back down to Washington. But I had to tell Senator Smith, for starters, a lot has changed since he was last in Washington. For one thing, we now hold our delegation meetings in the ladies' room. So that's going to be a transition for him. Now, we today, of course, in Washington have a president who says, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. But when Senator Smith last served, we had a president that said, even if you like Elian Gonzalez, you can't keep him. Now, I have to give Senator Smith credit, to put his hat back in the ring. It takes a lot of guts, but I wanted to offer him just a little friendly advice as he hits the campaign trail, and that's this. Please, Bob, keep your shirt on. I was also very glad to see my friend Governor Hassan. We served together at the State House. And, again, I checked Governor Hassan this morning. I heard you might leave early, but I want to assure you that I checked with the Secret Service, and you don't have to worry about it. Your favorite Irishman, President Obama, will not be making an appearance today, so we hope you can stay the entire breakfast. And either way, we know that Governor Hassan is really feeling the luck of the Irish, because although Scott Brown is moved to New Hampshire and is going to run for the United States Senate, state law bars him from running for governor. So you're free now from Scott Brown running against you. So that's great luck of the Irish that you have. Now, we all love to be here because it's always great to see Dan Chan. And to really see Dan, happy birthday. It's wonderful to wish you a 94th. birthday. I grew up here in Nashua, and we used to go to the Singapore when I was a kid. And you know, Dan, I really think that you should run for Congress. And I can tell you this, first of all, if you run for Congress, you will bring down the median age of senators and congressmen by at least a decade. But of course, that's only if Bob Smith doesn't win. So now, the other reason I think that Dan Chan should absolutely run for Congress is that, Dan, you speak a lot more clearly and in a much more understandable fashion than almost anyone in Washington. So that, I think, would be a great asset on the campaign trail. And we already know what Dan's campaign slogan would be, right? Eat more Chinese food. It's a perfect campaign slogan. But I can assure you, Dan, you cannot find Chinese food in Washington like that was served at the Singapore. Finally, you know, my job here today, not only to be here with all of you, but is to really welcome Governor Bobby Jindal here to the state of New Hampshire. Welcome, Governor. We're so glad to have you. When I first heard that Bobby was going to be here with us today, I said to myself, that's funny. I had no idea that Bobby is Irish. This is news to me. But then I thought about it a little more. Coming from Louisiana, home of Duck Dynasty, of course, Governor Jindal would want to come to Nashua. It's the Duck Dynasty of the North. I mean, you're going to be subjected to too many duck jokes today. We just can't help it. And Governor, let me give you a little tip. Duck hunting in Nashua is a little bit different than what you're used to down in Louisiana. Now, I really don't want to get too far ahead of myself up here, because I think that Governor Jindal has come to New Hampshire for some other reasons. Maybe he's thinking about the future. We've heard about his impressive resume. Maybe he's thinking about the next step in his career. And this may be very premature, but I heard he's also scouting out a potential vice presidential running mate. And Governor, I have the perfect person for you. It's really an out-of-the-box pick. Someone who knows Washington, someone who can help carry New Hampshire, someone who will speak to a different part of the electorate, someone who has that common touch, and someone who's very warm and fuzzy. Bobby, wait till you meet Governor John H. Sununu. He's perfect for it. Now, I really want to thank all of you for being here today. It's just wonderful to be here and part of this Nashua tradition, and also, I think, to be subjected to having to come up here and do something that politicians aren't always too good at. So you'll forgive us if we're not too funny today. But I'm really honored to support the Plus Company, and I thank you all for what you're doing for our city and for the state, and to give individuals an opportunity to lead productive lives. It's really inspiring to see what you do every day. And now I am proud to introduce Governor Bobby Jindal. We already know that he's picked his vice presidential running mate here in the state of New Hampshire. Governor, it is wonderful to welcome you to the Live Free or Die state. We've heard about your impressive resume, and I know that over the weekend we're going to hear from you as well as the Republican leaders gather here in the state of New Hampshire. But today I want to welcome you up here. There's no pressure. You know, this is a first big appearance, and the Telegraph is here. You've already heard. You never know what they might do with this. So with that, I would like to offer a welcome to my friend, Governor Bobby Jindal of Louisiana.
Great job.
I don't know what she meant by it. As I was coming up, the mayor said I was welcome to the front page of tomorrow's paper, so thank you. Thank you for that very kind introduction, Kelly. It's great to be here today with your very own Senator Kelly Ayotte, also known as my new favorite senator. Kelly, I'll be over later today to shovel the snow, and after that, I'll change the oil in the car, just like I promised. I'd like to start this morning by congratulating the genius that invited me to speak at a St. Patty's Day event. Let me suggest that a quick Google image search would have revealed that I'm not Irish. It's worse than that, I don't even drink. I am Catholic, so hopefully that counts for something. I bring you greetings from the great state of Louisiana. It's been said of Louisiana over the years that any given time, half of our state is underwater, the other half's under indictment. Now, it's true, we've had some colorful politicians over the years. You may have heard about our former governor, Edwin Edwards. He was a 4-term governor, just got out of jail last year, and after that, he immediately married a woman 50 years his younger. You may not have read the quotes that appeared on the front page of the newspaper the following day. I'm not making this up. He said, quote, "You're only as old as the woman you feel." My wife didn't feel that was funny. David Duke was also colorful. His favorite color was white. Fortunately, the jokes about Louisiana are in the past. After I took over as governor, we pushed through a bunch of tough ethics laws. We shut down a lot of the foolishness. I made a commitment to the people of Louisiana. I said, my goal is to be the most competent, but hopefully the most boring governor in our state's history. My wife said I've got the boring part down just fine. Governor Hassan, it's great to see you today. You may not know this, but your governor and I are both Brown graduates. I'm a little browner than she is, of course. You know, before I travel to somewhere outside of Louisiana, I generally scan the news to see what's going on so I can deliver timely and topical remarks. I noticed 2 stories here in your state. The first I read where your governor recently admitted that she's a pothead. All right, that may be a little harsh. She admitted to smoking some dope at college. I think it would have been more of a news story if a student at Brown had admitted to not smoking dope while there. You got to be careful with these politicians like your governor, though. Notice what she didn't say. She didn't deny smoking dope in the governor's office. I find that interesting. Especially when you look at some of her budgets recently. Somebody's clearly been smoking something. The other story I noticed is apparently one of your state representatives, a guy named David Campbell, ran over and killed several ducks at another hotel here in Nashua. I guess we could say that David had his ducks in a row. The funny part of that story for me was that here in New Hampshire, this killing ducks was treated like a big scandal. You know, back home in Louisiana, we would just call that dinner. Speaking of ducks, I'm sure that many of you know the hit show Duck Dynasty is based in Louisiana. I was in their compound in West Monroe a couple of weeks ago, giving them an award for growing their business and helping the community. If you want, I'd be happy to share with you some of their thoughts about sex. Well, that may not be the best idea this early in the morning. Many of you may know that I was the chairman of the Republican Governors Association last year. I'm vice chairman of the RGA this year. We have a new chairman of the RGA this year. He's a small, quiet, little guy from New Jersey. He was going to be here today, but the traffic, no, that joke's too easy. I'm not going to say. I read here in New Hampshire, you guys have like 1,000 legislators, pay them about $100 a year. It's great to be in a place that actually pays legislators what they're worth. I was hoping to see Scott Brown here today in New Hampshire, or as Scott Brown likes to call it, Massachusetts minus about 1 million Democratic voters. I don't get up to the Northeast that much. I was also hoping that Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren would drive over the border and show up for your breakfast. My staff tells me that she and I have a lot in common. Apparently, we're both of Indian descent. You know, after my infamous State of the Union response in 2009, I certainly appreciate the opportunity to try to be funny on purpose. I should have listened to Marco. I think my performance that night would have been better if I'd just taken a 10-minute sip of water, interrupted by 30 seconds of speaking. You know, after my disastrous speech, people wrote and said a lot of mean stuff. But when they spoke to me in person, they were about as kind as can be. There was one exception to that: my dad. He called later that night and said simply this. He said, "Son, I told you to go to medical school." But what a difference a day makes. Now people are asking me if I intend to run for president in 2016. The answer is I have no plans at this time to run. I've made that clear, and I will come here again and again to the state of New Hampshire to say that over and over. There is a reason I've got no plans to run. I mean, come on. What chance does a skinny guy with a dark complexion and a funny name have to get elected president of the United States? The truth is, I am too skinny to run for president of the United States. At least that's what my friend Chris Christie keeps telling me every day. You know, it has been a lot of fun to be here with you this morning. As I close, I want to thank the folks at the Plus Company. I want to thank all of you for supporting a great cause. I want to just say two final things. One is this. In my own family, I have a first cousin who was born with a developmental disability due to the circumstances of his birth. And as a young child, as I grew up with him, I learned to love him, learn from him, and we spent time playing together. I wish the Plus Company had been around when he was growing up. My cousin's desire, his strongest desire, his strongest ambition in the world, was to save enough money so that one day he could open up and work at a newsstand. And he would beg his parents, and he would try to work odd jobs and save every dollar that he could. And my cousin didn't live very long. He grew to be an adult, but he didn't live very long, and he never fulfilled his dreams. And that's why I'm so proud to be with an organization that's helping so many other people live to their fullest potential and realize their dreams. I truly wish every day there had been a Plus Company when my cousin was growing up. I'm so grateful they're here today, not only for the people of New Hampshire, but the example they set for our entire country. And I also want to say that as the governor of Louisiana, after we went through our hurricanes, Katrina and Rita especially, we've seen people from all over the country, including from right here in New Hampshire, come and volunteer to help us get back on our feet and rebuild. That says something great about the American people. They would reach out. It doesn't always take government. Sometimes it's just people in their churches, in their faith-based communities, their schools, their civic organizations reaching out, helping complete strangers get back on their feet. With all the negative stuff that's on cable news, that just reminds you that we are blessed to live in the greatest country in the history of the world. So thank you for supporting this incredible organization. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you, Governor. Now, before we do the raffle, I'd like to call on our suggestion for you, Governor. If you happen to occupy the White House, this gentleman would be an ideal candidate for Secretary of State. Dan Chan, come on up. Now, Dan, you had 3 minutes, and you told me that you only wanted 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 3 minutes?
3 minutes, yeah, okay.
You hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Only a Hong Kong accent.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 You're my pal.
Okay.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. First, I must share this with you. I called the National Telegraph the other day to place a classified ad in their newspaper. I asked how much it would cost. The sales lady said $5 per inch. I told her that was too much. She asked why. What are you selling? I told her a 10-foot ladder. Governor Hassan, Congratulations for your successful year in office. May you enjoy many more. You are leading New Hampshire to be the most popular state in the nation. And many years ago, New Hampshire only holds a small population. Now, more and more people coming to New Hampshire to live free and prosper.
Got 2 minutes.
Governor, I wish you every success.
Got 2 minutes, Dan.
2 minutes, okay. And happiness. Louisiana Governor Jindal, welcome to New Hampshire. I am sure we will be seeing all you many months ahead. Let's talk later about it. I will recommend the best Chinese restaurant for you to try. Senator Ayotte, you are doing an outstanding job in the U.S. Senate, working all together with all colleagues for the best interest of all people in the United States of America. With the New supporting, I hope all good night all the way when you take over the White House. I hope you will appoint a Chinese chef. Do you want to surprise the Chinese president with additional Chinese food when he came to visit the United States?
Okay. You got 1 minute. You got 1 minute, Dan.
1 minute. Okay.
He's not here.
Right here, right?
Yeah, right.
Bob Smith.
He's not here.
He's not here.
Forget him.
Okay. 1.5 minutes.
Yeah. It's taken a long time, Dan.
In Nashua, the record speak for him itself. Mayor Lozeau has achieved many goals and progressing non-stop. Mayor, I hope you the very best in happiness.
Almost done, Dan?
We're almost done.
Yeah, okay. Half a minute.
Oh, time for lunch anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I got time. What about you?
Okay.
Okay. Director Kim Shot, you must be proud of your leadership, providing the special training to all the people with disability to improve their life. The score is remarkable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your effort and generous donation that make the Plus Company successful fundraising every year. I wish all of you success in your business and happiness with your loving family. Happy St. Patrick's Day. God bless Ireland. God bless the United States of America. I must remind you, eat Chinese food. Enjoy Chinese food for good health.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan. Dan, this is just a token of our appreciation for you being here over 20 years.
20 years.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You read it to me.
It's not in Chinese?
Chinese.
Okay. To Dan Chan, with sincere gratitude for your many years of support, the Plus Company Wild Irish Breakfast, okay?
First, I want to tell you.
Yeah?
Now, you may get used to my Hong Kong accent. Make it understandable.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
And thank you all. Thank you, Bonnie, for this.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay?
Okay. You gotta go.
Thank you.
You gotta go.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's have the two representatives from the Telegraph come on up, and we'll have the drawing. Mary Gorman and is it Jim Koenig? Okay. Jim is new to the Telegraph, so you'll have to abide with us for a while because we weren't really going to make fun of the Telegraph, but you're always a good foil. Okay. All right. So let's. What we're going to do. We're going to draw the first prize, which is for the 1-week all-expense-paid trip for two to Ireland. So, Jim, would you draw it, and Mary, would you read it? Robert Gorham from anybody know him? Didn't draw another one then. No. Okay. All right. Now the second drawing is from Brad Hill. It's a Trek 7.1 hybrid bicycle. Brenda Gabriel? Okay, all right. She works for the city. She must be wealthy. Right, yeah, okay. Okay, the third drawing is for 4 tickets to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series donated by the New Hampshire Speedway in Loudon. Take that again? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And our fourth drawing, courtesy of BAE Systems, is 2 tickets to the Celtics. What is it, Philadelphia? Yep. And the date? April 4th. April 4th, okay.
And the winner is Nancy Pond.
Nancy Pond, okay. All right, great. Well, thank you all. And thank you, Telegraph, as being one of our major sponsors. We really appreciate it. So, and we look forward to seeing you all here next year on Tuesday, March 17th. So let me leave you with an Irish blessing. May love and laughter light your days and warm your hearts and homes. May good and faithful friends be yours, and may peace and plenty bless you all. Thank you.